This is a story about Rindersella. Now, I heard this story on Hee Haw with Archie Campbell. He was doing this. And he was cutting, Roy Clark, the guitar player, he was cutting his hair at the time, sitting in the barber's chair. Mm-hmm. So, and Roy had troubles with his kids. They wouldn't go to sleep at night. So Archie said to him, he says, well, you got to read them those children's stories, you know, about Cinderella and Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. And he says, I got one for you. It's called Cinderella, about Cinderella. So he said, if you tell them this, the kids will probably go to sleep. So, all right. So he says, once upon a time in the corn country, there lived a beautiful girl, and her name was Rindersella. Now, Rindersella lived with her muggly other and her two sad blisters. Also, in this same corn country, there was a very pransome hinge. Now, this pransome hinge was going to have a bancy fall, and he invited people for round around, especially the pitch people. Now, Rindersella's muggly other and her two sad blisters, they went out to buy some drancy fesses, you know, to wear to this bancy fall. But Rindersella couldn't go because all she had to wear was some old ruddy days. So finally the night of the bancy fall arrived and Rindersella couldn't go, so she just sat down and sighed. She was kidding there sighing, when all at once there appeared before her Gary Mudfather. And he touched her with his magic wand, and there appeared before her a Kate boats and Hicks white saucers, you know, to take her to this bancy fall. But he said, now, Rindersella, you be sure and be home before midnight, or I'll turn you into a pumpkin. Really? So when Rindersella arrived at this bancy fall, his pransome hint met her at the door because he'd been watching all this time behind a wooden window. And Rindersella and the pransome hint danced all night, and they loved and fought. Really, they loved and fought. And at once the mid-clock struck night, and Rindersella stayed down the stairs, and just as she reached the bottom, she slopped her dripper. That's sad. So the next day, the pransome hint went all over this corn country, looking for this beautiful girl who had slopped her dripper. Finally, he came to Rindersella's house. Well, he tried it on her muggly other, and it fitting dead. He tried it on her two sickly oysters, and it fitting dead. Then, settle down. Then he tried it on Rindersella, and it fit dead. I'll be darned. It was exactly the sight-wise. So they got married and lived heavenly after hampers. Now the story of this story is, if you go to a bancy fall and you want to have a pransome hint lolling fub with you, don't forget to slop your dripper. Amen.